So you want to build a greenhouse? Well, stick around and I'll show you how I put mine together. So welcome back everybody. I'm Coop, the Wonder Why Farmer, here at Wonder Why Farm and Homestead. So I'm coming to you today from the outside in the greenhouse, and I wanted to make a video on how I put this together. This was something that was stick built together with just plans from Pinterest. It's pretty simple, but I'll take you around and show you how I put it together. It's 2x4 construction and corrugated metal for the lower sides, and corrugated plastic, as you can see back on the walls here. It's just all that is corrugated plastic. So let me take you around here and show you how it's constructed, and then I'll give you an idea on how much it costs to make it. So basically, as you can see, and like I said, it's all 2x4 construction. If tools that you would need for this thing would be what I use is a compound miter saw to do all the cutting. There's lots of angle cuts in this. Nothing too drastic. There's some 22.5 degree and mostly 45. These are 22.5s back this way. But it's basically just that if you have a compound miter saw, you could do it with a miter box. You could do it with a circular saw. But again, 2x4 construction. The top here is just corrugated plastic that you can purchase at any of your big box home stores. You could probably order it off Amazon or anywhere else. I got mine at the big box store. Same with the corrugated metal. I'll step outside here. This is just metal roofing that I used. This is the plan that I got off of Pinterest. That's what they used. I just wrapped the corners with some just flat sheet metal, just sheeting from a roof, like flashing. But yeah, the door is just a standard screen door. The only thing that I didn't put in here, I've had this will be my third season. The only thing I didn't put in here was any ventilation, and I think I'm going to put those in the back. I have the ventilation in the door. What I typically do when it gets hot in here is I have a pretty good sized industrial fan that I just set up here in front of the door, and I've really never had an issue with plants, wilting down or dying in here, even though if I shut the door up here when the sun's shining, I mean, it gets well over 100 degrees, but if you monitor it, it's not been an issue. I do think that I'm going to put some ventilation in the back this year, possibly down in these corners here, where I have some more room around the framing, just so that I'm able to open those up and get some cross ventilation in here. It's the only thing that I wish I had done originally, but again, I haven't found it to be that big a deal if you open the door up and you set a fan here. The only other issue that I've had with this greenhouse, and another thing I wish I had done, was I wish I had put some kind of material down the floor. I just really put this on the dirt. And the first year I was real diligent about keeping the weeds down in here, as far as I put a lot of mulch in here at the time and kept the weeds down. Last year I wasn't quite as diligent about that, and I got a lot of orchard grass that grew in here pretty heavily. And if you look back at my other video where I cleaned this out, because I had used this kind of as a storage shed, I took a lot of old brown orchard grass out of here, and I ended up feeding it to the goats. So at least somebody got some good out of it. But I wanted to take you along today and just show you the construction. And like I said, it was pretty basic. We put this together. I actually built this in a three-sided 16 by 8 run-in shed for a horse that I have. We built them on 2 separate weekends, but this was about a 2-day project for me and my wife. I'm not a carpenter, never claimed to be one, and I'm never going to be one, but we were able to do this as basic novice. I'm not a builder either, but as basic novice, we were able to knock out all the cutting and assembly in a Saturday and a Sunday. So it wasn't too bad. Start out with the lower walls, frame them up, and then I attached the tin. So whenever we stood these up here, the bottom walls were done. And then from there, probably what took the longest amount of time was cutting all of the trusses that this is made out of. It suggested that I make wooden fasteners, as you can see right here. I just got these straps. To me, it was metal was a lot stronger as far as the wind goes. Same with down here. I just used an angle iron bracket and self-tapping screws, and that's how I put it together. It's freestanding here. It is not attached to the ground in any way. We have had one bout of 55 mile an hour winds here. It's never moved. I couldn't tell you how much it weighs, but it's pretty heavy. Now, I'm not saying that it couldn't tip over in a windstorm, but I didn't lash it down to the ground simply because that just would take more time. It wouldn't be no big deal. I could get some cable lashings and I could lash it down, but if we get a wind that is that severe, I'm going to have more issues than my greenhouse toppling over. But yeah, there it is. Like I said, I'm pretty impressed with it. It turned out really nice. It served me. This, like I said, this will be the 3rd year that I've used it, and it's just phenomenal. If you have the opportunity and the resources to put one of these up, got a little bit of wind blowing here. Let's take you back inside. I have about $500 in material in this build, so it's definitely doable. I will say that I had 2 of the metal hoop type houses with the plastic green greenhouse covering over them, and while they worked, they could not stand up to the wind. They constantly move back and forth with the wind, and eventually what happens is everywhere that the pipes go together, where that weak point is, it bends and bends and bends. And I bought the first one. The first year it was great, no problems whatsoever. Had roll up sides on it for ventilation, worked great. The next year, we got a windstorm in the early season, and one night it was laying over there in the yard. So I didn't have enough money to build a structure like this at the time, so I went ahead and I got another one of those. And actually, I'm kind of telling a lie. I actually had 2 of them. I had the original one and I bought another one because I actually wanted to do some planting in the summertime. And what happened was the one we lost, the older one. So we still had the other one. It was a little bit bent, but I was able to shore it up, and I ended up using it that season. That winter, I took down the cover off of it, but just for whatever reason, that winter was just, we had a bad winter. It still moved, even without the covering on it. And I ended up, before we built this one here, I went to put the cover back on. I had 2 or 3 broken pipes, which they're impossible to fix. Excuse me. you can't weld them. You know, once they're broken, they're broken. So what ended up happening is I just tore it down. We spent the money, and really, I thought it was going to cost way more to build a structure than it did. So, like I said, for $500 in materials, I've got, you know, 3 years out of this. It should last the rest of my life, really. You know, there's no reason it's as solid as it could be. So, yeah. So that's what I wanted to do. I want to take you guys along, show you my greenhouse today. I know a lot of people tuned in to see whenever I was cleaning it out and talked about the greenhouse. So I wanted to make another video and just kind of profile it itself and let you know what the materials are. I'll go over it again. 2x4 construction, corrugated plastic for the sides to allow the sun in. Corrugated roofing material goes around the sides. It's all framed in 2x4. I used strapping, as you can see right there, for all the joints. And the same with down here where that met up. I used just some angle iron, basic screen door. So yeah. So that's about it for the greenhouse. Hey, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to walk underneath my pergola. This was something we built last year. Really nice. So yeah, I want to thank you guys for tuning in today. If it's your first time here, go down and smash that like button if you liked the video. Subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell so you get all the latest updates. We're going to be doing some gardening. That's going to be tomorrow's video. We're going to be getting ready here, getting some seeds in pots, getting them inside right now. It's really nice today. It's supposed to be like 65, something like that today. End of the week, supposed to be rain and colder, so we're not out of the woods yet. We're getting some nice days here. This is by far the best winter I can remember as far as weather goes. It's been really wet, but warm temperatures are coming, and stick around and come back. Again, if you haven't, please subscribe to the channel and smash that like button. Until I see you again, everyone have a good day and God bless.